Hi everyone, this is Fox from Wolf and Fox, and today I am here to do a deck tech with you guys about Christie the Wind Tracker. So here we go. Alright, to start off with, let's start with some stones. In my deck we have 7, it's going to be kind of hard to fan out here, 7 magic stones of wind. Like I said, kind of hard to fan out. I promise they're all wind stones. 3 magic stones of deep wood, and 1 Moodstart the Fantasy Stone. Alright, so that's going to be about all the stones that you need for this deck. You really don't need very much more, but if you'd like to put more in, feel free. I found that 10 is a pretty good number. Alright, so monsters. I run 2 Elvish Priests for your mana ramp, 2 Familiar of Holy Winds. This is great draw potential and also really good for getting rid of small creatures. 2 Elvish Bowmen, another 1-drop. If you tap it, you get rid of a target addition. 3 Elvish Exorcists. And when those enter, you get to destroy a target vampire. She is very important to this deck structure, so make sure you've got her in there. I only run 2 Gretels. I don't run any more than that. 2 Christie, the Warden of Sanctuary. Once again, this is another really important card. Christie makes all of your elves untargetable by spells or abilities. So when you get her on the field, you want to make sure you keep her on the field. And the next card is Fina, the Silver Player. Another really good card that you want to keep on the field. She's a little expensive, she costs 3, but when she's on the field and you have Christie, all your opponent's cards lose all of their symbol skills, which is flying, pierce, target attack. So if you're up against someone with flying, having Fina on the field with Christie as your J-Ruler is really great. And it also gives all of your elves on the field a boost, plus 400, plus 400. So once again, really powerful card to have on the field. Get Fina and Christie on the field. You want to keep them on the field. So I'll show you guys how I do that in a little bit. I play 3 Wiseman of Winds. Wiseman of Winds is a 2-drop for 800, 600. She has an enter ability where you have to banish her unless you control another elf. The good thing about Wiseman of Winds is as long as Christie is your J-Ruler, you will always have another elf on the field. Christie counts as an elf. So as long as you have her, you can play Wiseman. Turn 2, you have an 800, 600 out on the field. It's pretty powerful. I run 1 Guardia. Only one of this. Its purpose is simply to find Moodstart, the Fantasy Stone. That's really its sole purpose. It also has an activate ability where you can add 400, 400 to your resonators on the field, which is really great if you're in a pinch. But like I said, I mainly use it to find Moodstart if I cannot draw it naturally and I need it. Next, I run 2, I know, only 2, Feith Sings. She is a quick cast, so you can cast her from your hand. She has an enter ability to prevent all damage that would be dealt by a target resonator. And you can also tap her for mana. So she's a very, very, very good card. And that's it for monsters, and next we're going to move into spells. I know my spells seem a little eclectic. Let me explain it and we'll see. I also, in this deck, have way more monsters than I do spells, because the monsters, being all elves, play off of each other, which is what I wanted in a deck. Kind of like a swarm deck. Alright, so for our spells, I have 2 Exceed the Ancient Magic. I'm sure you know what this does. It pretty much cancels all spells. It's awesome. And if you have Feith Sing, you get to draw a card, which is even better. So we have 2 Law of Silence, which if you play this on your opponent's untapping phase, drawing, if you play this, then they can't summon or do any kind of spells that turn. So really powerful. Evolution of Limits, 2 of those. Evolution of Limits is a 1-drop, and your Resonator gets plus 600, plus 600. It's a really great card, especially if, for example, someone tries to Thunder your Fina, which is what I get a lot. So Thunder does 500 damage. You drop that Evolution of Limits really fast. It is an instant, and now your Fina's at 1,000, 1,000, and Thunder no longer works. It only has 500. You do have to watch if your opponent's going to attack, but normally they're just playing the Thunder to get rid of your Fina just to annoy you, so it's enough to save your cards. Next we have, I'm sorry, I have a cat in my lap, 2 Absolute Cake Zones. Once again, I have 2 Grettles, so I have 2 Cake Zones. It's great, cancel target normal spell, and if you control Hansel or Gretel, you get to draw a card. So, great card. I have 3 Zeeks, so this makes any of your monsters on the field untargetable, or you can cancel a summon spell. So once again, very powerful card. Next, I have 2 Crucifix, and this serves 2 purposes in this deck. First, you can attach it to one of your creatures to make it untargetable by spells and abilities. So that means if you have something that comes in that has an ability, it cannot be targeted by an enter ability or anything like that as well. Also though, what's fun is you have Mooj Dart, which transforms a target Resonator into a race that you choose. So you can change it into a vampire and attach Crucifix and give it minus 1,000, minus 1,000. So once again, if you're in a bit of a bind and you're like, really don't want that card on the field, you have Crucifix as a kind of a backdoor that you can get on. So it's kind of a double-edged sword in a good way for you. And next I have 2 Leaves of Yggdrasil. This is a newer card, and when you attach it to a Resonator, you can bring it back to the field from the graveyard after it dies. So, and it's a 1-drop, so basically you're giving your monster a second chance at life. You do have to take the damage, but still really good. I have 3 Silver Bullets. This is a huge card for this deck. Silver Bullet only costs 1 mana to play if you have Christie as your J ruler. So if you were looking for something, Silver Bullet will find it, because that's what it is. It's a fetch. You play 1 mana, you can get any Wind Resonator from your deck, which all of the cards in my deck are Wind Resonators, and have that in your hand to play. If you have enough mana open, you can play it on the field. So it's a really great way to get whatever creature you need, be it a Gretel or Gardia if you still can't find Mooj Dart, or a Wiseman of Winds if you need a quick heavy hitter, whatever it is that you're looking for. And the last card I have here is Refarth, the Wind Castle, and this is a field card for 2 mana. And when you put it on, when you play it, it prevents all damage that would be dealt by normal spells to Resonators you control. And so once you play Refarth, unless your opponent can get rid of it, they can't use any Thunders, any Ghostly Flames, anything like that on your Resonators. They can still use Thunders on you, but not on your Resonators. Because of Refarth, it kind of blocks that damage. I did want to make couple things about my deck. It seems a little kind of crazy and eclectic. This is going to be your main thing here. This is Mooj Dart. And Mooj Dart can transform any of Resonator into another race. And my deck with Crucifix and with the Elvish Exorcist and with Christie is a very vampire hate related. So if you have a vampire, a werewolf, or anything like that on the field, Christie flips for free. And when she flips over, you can actually target a non-human J ruler, or J Resonator, or regular Resonator. I'm sorry, not a J ruler. J Resonator or regular Resonator. It loses all of its abilities, and then at the end of the turn, it is destroyed. So basically, when this comes in, if you're targeting, oh, I don't know, Alucard maybe, it's going to completely null all of Alucard's abilities and destroy him at the end of the turn. So he has to go back to being little old Dracula or little old Alucard, because he flips to Dracula, doesn't he?
Yeah.
Sorry. So you really want to focus on manipulating your opponent and powering up your elves, keeping Christie, the other Christie, Warden of Sanctuary, and Fina on the board, and getting them those hexproofs. The elves balance off of each other, so they play together really nicely. The more elves you have on the field, the more powerful your elves are going to be, and if you can get your opponent's cards to be a bunch of vampires, then you pretty much got it in the bag. Anyway, that's been my deck tech for Christie the Wind Tracker, and I hope you enjoyed it. Please let me know below if you've got any J-Rulers that you particularly like, or any decks that you want to see us deck tech, or any suggestions you have. And we thank you very much for following us. Bye!